This is USA Secure Benefits with breaking news that every single person with a bank account needs to hear. Right now, a new federal banking rule was ruled overnight, and it is already starting to roll out at major banks across the country this week. And here is what you need to understand immediately. This is not just another small policy adjustment that gets buried in fine print somewhere. This is a significant change to how banks verify your identity, monitor your account activity, and flag transactions. They consider suspicious, and yes, it could absolutely affect your ability to access your own money. If you are not prepared for what is coming, most people will not hear about this until something goes wrong, until they try to withdraw cash or make a transfer, and suddenly their account gets frozen or flagged without warning. But you are hearing about it right now, which puts you ahead of millions of people who are going to be caught completely off guard this week before we go any further. If you want to stay informed about banking changes, financial regulations, and money rules that could impact your wallet, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. We break down complex financial news into clear, actionable information that helps you protect your money and avoid problems before they start. All right, let us dive into exactly what changed, why it matters, and what you need to do this week to protect your account. So here is what happened behind the scenes. Federal banking regulators working with the Treasury Department and multiple financial oversight agencies finalized a new rule that has been in development for over a year. The official rollout began this week at major banks, including Chase Bank of America, Wells, Fargo, Citi, and dozens of regional and online banks. And by the end of this month, nearly every financial institution in the United States will be operating under these new requirements. The rule itself focuses on three main areas: enhanced identity verification, meaning banks must now confirm more details about who you are before allowing certain transactions. Expanded transaction monitoring, where banks use automated systems to scan for patterns they consider unusual or potentially risky. And faster account restrictions, meaning banks can now freeze or limit accounts much more quickly if their systems flag something as suspicious. Even if you have not actually done anything wrong, now on the surface, you might think, okay, this sounds like it is designed to prevent fraud, catch criminals, stop money laundering, protect consumers. And yes, those are absolutely the stated goals of this regulation. But here is what regulators did not publicize widely, and what most people do not realize yet. The way these rules are being implemented, the way the automated systems are being configured, means that regular everyday banking activities that you have done for years without any problems could suddenly trigger alerts, delays, or account freezes. And when that happens, fixing it is not as simple as calling customer service and explaining the situation. These new systems are designed to act first and ask questions later. And the burden of proving you are not doing anything wrong increasingly falls on you, the account holder, not the bank. Let me give you some real-world examples so this really sinks in. Imagine you sell something online, maybe furniture, electronics, a car, whatever. Someone pays you through Zelle, Venmo, or a direct bank transfer for $2,000 or $3,000. That is a perfectly normal transaction. You have done nothing wrong. But under the new rule, if that amount is larger than your typical transaction history, the bank's automated system could flag it as suspicious. Your account could be temporarily frozen while they investigate. You might not be able to access any of your money. Not just that one transaction, but your entire account until the bank manually reviews it and clears the hold, and, depending on how busy they are, how many other accounts they are reviewing, that could take days or even a full week. Meanwhile, your rent is due, your bills are on autopay, and you are stuck waiting. Or imagine this scenario. You are traveling out of state or out of the country. You try to withdraw cash from an ATM or use your debit card at a hotel or restaurant. The bank system sees activity in a location you do not normally use and flags it as potential fraud, even if you notified them you were traveling. Your card gets declined or your account gets restricted. Now you are stuck in another city or another country, without access to your money, trying to call customer service from a foreign number waiting on hold, proving your identity over the phone. This is not a hypothetical. This is already happening to people under the old rules, and the new rule makes these systems even more aggressive, even more automated, and even faster to act. Here is another example that is catching a lot of people off guard. Let us say you normally deposit your paycheck every 2 weeks, the same amount, the same employer, the same routine. Then 1 month, you get a bonus, a tax refund, or maybe you cash out some vacation days. Suddenly, there is a deposit that is 3 or 4 times larger than usual under the new monitoring systems that could trigger a review. The bank might place a temporary hold on those funds, not because they think you did anything illegal, but because their algorithm says this deposit does not match your pattern. And now you are in the frustrating position of having to prove to your own bank that your own money is legitimate. Now let me be very clear about something important. The intention behind this rule is not to punish regular people or make banking more difficult for honest customers. The federal government's goal is to crack down on financial crimes, money laundering, terrorist financing, fraud rings, scams, and illegal activity. And those are all legitimate concerns that absolutely need to be addressed. But here is the problem. Automated systems do not understand context. They do not understand your personal situation. They cannot tell the difference between someone selling their car for cash and someone running an illegal operation. All they see is numbers, patterns, deviations from the norm. And when you fall outside the norm, even for completely innocent reasons, the system reacts. And here is what worries financial experts and consumer advocates the most about this new rule. Once your account gets flagged, even if it is a false positive, even if you did absolutely nothing wrong, that flag stays in your file. It becomes part of your banking history. And while one flag might not cause long-term problems, multiple flags, even if they are all innocent, can lead to your account being labeled as high risk. And once that happens, banks can choose to close your account entirely, refuse to open new accounts for you, or report you to banking databases that other financial institutions check. When you apply for services, getting removed from those lists or clearing your name can take months or even years, and it can seriously damage your ability to bank normally. So now let us talk about what is actually changing this week and what you need to watch out for. Starting immediately, banks are required to collect and verify additional information about account holders. If you have not updated your personal information with your bank in a while, now is the time to do it. This includes your current phone number, your current address, your email address, and in some cases, additional forms of identification beyond just your driver's license or social security number. If your bank cannot verify this information quickly, they may restrict your account until you provide updated documents. And here is the kicker. They do not always send a warning. First, the system just locks you out, and then you have to figure out what happened. Transaction limits are also being adjusted under the new rule, and this is where a lot of people are going to get caught off guard. Many banks are lowering daily withdrawal limits, daily transfer limits, and daily spending limits, at least temporarily, while they implement the new monitoring systems. What used to be a $5,000 daily withdrawal limit might drop to $2,500 or even $1,000 depending on your bank and your account history. What used to be unlimited transfers might now be capped at 5 or 10 per day. If you regularly move money between accounts, pay bills, send payments to family members, or run a small business from your personal account, you need to check your bank's updated limits right now before you hit a wall and cannot complete a transaction you were counting on. Cash deposits are getting extra scrutiny under this rule. If you deposit cash into your account, especially larger amounts like $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, the bank is now required to verify the source of that cash much more aggressively than before. They might ask you where it came from, what it is, for why you are depositing cash instead of using a check or electronic transfer. And if your explanation does not satisfy their system or their compliance team, they can hold that deposit for days or even weeks while they investigate. This is particularly challenging for people who work in cash-based industries, small business owners who collect cash payments, or people who simply prefer to use cash for personal transactions. Suddenly, your normal banking behavior is being treated as suspicious just because it does not fit the algorithms. Expectations peer-to-peer payment apps are also under much heavier scrutiny. Now, services like Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, and PayPal are all connected to your bank account, and the new rule requires banks to monitor activity on those platforms much more closely if you are receiving payments through these apps, especially multiple payments from different people or payments that are larger than your usual transactions. The bank system might flag it as potential unreported income, possible business activity, or something else that requires further review. And yes, this can result in your bank account being frozen, even though the activity happened on a third-party app, not directly through your bank international transactions. Even small ones are now being flagged much more aggressively. If you send money to someone in another country, receive money from someone overseas, or make purchases from international websites, those transactions are automatically treated as higher risk. Under the new rule, the bank might block the transaction entirely and require you to call in and verify your identity and explain the transaction before they will allow it to go through for people with family abroad, people who travel frequently, or people who shop from international retailers. This is going to be a major headache. Now, here is the part that really frustrates consumer advocates and that you need to be aware of. Banks are not required to notify you in advance when they implement these new restrictions or when they flag your account. The first time you find out there is a problem is when your debit card gets declined at the grocery store, when your rent check bounces because your account was frozen, or when you try to transfer money and the app tells you your account has been restricted. Then you have to call customer service, wait on hold for 30 minutes or an hour, explain yourself to a representative who is reading from a script and has very limited ability to override the system, and wait for someone in the fraud department or compliance team to manually review your account during all of that. Your money is locked. You cannot access it. You cannot pay bills. You cannot buy groceries. You are just stuck waiting. And here is something that almost nobody knows about, but is becoming a huge issue under these new rules. Banks can and do share information about flagged accounts with other financial institutions through databases and reporting systems. If your account gets flagged at one bank, even if it is a mistake, other banks might see that flag when you try to open an account with them, and they can use that information to deny your application or to impose stricter limits on your new account. From day one, this creates a situation where one false positive, one algorithmic mistake can follow you around the banking system for months or even years. So what do you actually need to do this week to protect yourself and avoid getting caught in this mess? I am going to walk you through a specific action plan that will significantly reduce your risk of running into problems first. And this is non-negotiable update. Your contact information with your bank. Immediately log into your online banking, go to your profile settings, and make absolutely certain that your phone number, email address, and mailing address are current and accurate if the bank needs to reach you about a flagged transaction or a verification issue. They will use this information if it is outdated. You will not get the message and your account could be frozen without you even knowing why. Second, review your recent transaction history and look for anything unusual or out of pattern, even if it is legitimate, even if you know exactly what it is. If it is different from your normal activity, it could trigger the new monitoring systems. If you see something that might raise questions, consider calling your bank proactively and letting them know. Say something like, "Hey, I just sold my car for $8,000 and I am going to deposit that check this week. I wanted to give you a heads up so it does not get flagged as suspicious." That simple proactive call can prevent days of headaches later. Third, if you are planning any large transactions this week, any unusual deposits, any big purchases, any international transfers, anything outside your normal banking routine, do it carefully and be prepared for extra scrutiny. Have documentation ready, keep receipts, save emails, screenshot conversations. If the bank questions the transaction, you want to be able to prove it is legitimate quickly and easily. The faster you can provide documentation, the faster they can clear the hold and restore access to your account. Fourth, set up account alerts. If you have not already, most banks offer free text or email alerts that notify you immediately when certain things happen with your account set up. Alerts for large withdrawals, large deposits declined, transactions, low balances, and any account restrictions. This way, if something does get flagged, you will know about it instantly, instead of finding out hours or days later when you actually need to use your account. Fifth, know your bank's customer service options and hours. Write down the phone number for your bank's fraud department and compliance team. Save it in your phone. Know what hours they are available. Some banks have 24/7 customer service. Others only operate during business hours. If your account gets frozen on a Friday evening and your bank's compliance team does not work weekends, you could be locked out until Monday morning. Knowing this in advance helps you plan and avoid situations where you are completely stuck. Sixth, and this is important for anyone who runs a small business or has any kind of side income, consider separating your business banking from your personal banking. If you have not already, the new monitoring systems are particularly aggressive when they see business-like activity in personal accounts, multiple payments from different people, frequent transfers, regular cash deposits. All of that looks like business activity to the algorithm, and if you are running even a small side hustle through your personal account, you are much more likely to get flagged opening a business checking account, even if it is just a basic one. Keeps that activity separate and significantly reduces your risk. Seventh, if you frequently use peer-to-peer payment apps, start documenting those transactions. Keep notes about who sent you money and why. If it is a friend paying you back for dinner, say that. If it is someone buying something you sold online, keep the listing and the conversation. If your bank questions those payments, you want to be able to explain them clearly and quickly, and consider spreading out large payments if possible, instead of having one friend send you $1,000 all at once. Maybe have them send $500 twice. It sounds silly, but it genuinely reduces the risk of triggering algorithmic flags. Eighth, and this applies especially to older account holders and people who are not as comfortable with technology. Make sure you know how to access your account online and through your bank's mobile app. A lot of the new verification processes and account restrictions require you to log in digitally, upload documents, or respond to messages through the app. If you only bank in person or over the phone, you are going to run into delays and problems under this new rule. If you need help setting up online access, go to your bank branch this week and have them walk you through it. Ninth, be extremely cautious about scams related to this rule. Change anytime there is a major banking change. Scammers come out in full force, trying to take advantage of confusion and fear. You will absolutely see fake emails, fake texts, and fake calls claiming to be from your bank, saying you need to verify your account immediately or provide personal information to comply with the new rule. Here is what you need to remember. Your bank will never call you out of nowhere, demanding immediate account information. They will never ask for your full social security number, your PIN, or your online banking password over the phone, and they will never threaten to close your account if you do not act immediately. If you get a message like that, it is a scam. Hang up. Delete the email. Do not click any links, then go directly to your bank's website by typing the address into your browser yourself, or call the number on the back of your debit card. Contact them directly through official channels and ask if there is actually an issue with your account. Now let us talk about what happens if you do get caught up in this, and your account does get flagged or frozen despite your best efforts to avoid it. First, stay calm. I know it is frustrating. I know it is stressful, especially if you need that money right now for important expenses. But getting angry at the customer service representative on the phone is not going to help. They did not personally freeze your account. They are following policies created by regulators and implemented by automated systems. Be polite but persistent. Ask specific questions. Why was my account flagged? What transaction triggered the review? What documentation do you need from me to clear this? When can I expect access to be restored? Get names. Get reference numbers. Get timelines. Document everything. Second, provide whatever documentation they request as quickly as possible if they need proof of income. Send your pay stubs if they need proof of a transaction. Send the receipt or the contract if they need additional ID. Upload it through their secure system. The faster you respond, the faster they can review and clear the flag delays on your end. Only extend the freeze. Third, if the situation is not resolved quickly through normal customer service channels, escalate. Ask to speak with a supervisor. Ask to speak with someone in the compliance department. File a formal complaint through the bank's complaint process. And if necessary, contact federal regulators. You can file complaints with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Your state's banking regulator or the Federal Reserve banks take regulatory complaints seriously because they are monitored and tracked and can affect the bank's compliance ratings. Fourth, if you are completely locked out and you need access to money for essential expenses like food, rent, or medical care, explain that clearly. Many banks have emergency procedures for releasing at least some funds in cases of genuine hardship. They might not give you full access immediately, but they may be able to release a portion of your balance, say $500 or $1,000, to cover critical needs while the investigation continues. And fifth, once this is resolved seriously, consider whether this is the right bank for you going forward. If your account gets frozen multiple times, if the bank is consistently overly aggressive with restrictions, if their customer service is terrible and does not help you resolve issues quickly, you have the right to take your business elsewhere. Not all banks are implementing these new rules the same way. Some are more reasonable and customer-friendly than others do. Some research, read reviews, and find a financial institution that balances security with common sense and good customer service. All right, so let us wrap this up with the key takeaways. You absolutely need to remember the new banking rule is real. It is rolling out this week, and it will affect how your account is monitored and how quickly restrictions can be placed on your access to your own money. This is not fear-mongering. This is information you need to protect yourself. Update your contact information immediately. Review your transaction history. Be prepared for extra scrutiny on unusual activity. Document everything set up. Account alerts. Know how to reach your bank's compliance team and stay alert for scams trying to exploit confusion about this rule. Most importantly, understand that these automated systems make mistakes. They flag innocent people all the time. If it happens to you, it does not mean you did anything wrong. It just means you need to be prepared to prove your transactions are legitimate and to navigate the bank's processes patiently and persistently until the issue is resolved. If this video helped you understand what is happening and how to protect your account, hit that subscribe button right now so you do not miss future updates. Banking rules, financial regulations, and money policies are constantly changing, and most people do not find out about them until they are already dealing with problems. By subscribing, you are staying ahead of changes that could affect your wallet and your financial stability. Drop a comment below and let me know. Have you experienced account restrictions or frozen accounts before? What was the situation and how did you resolve it? I read every comment, and your experiences help other people learn what to expect and how to handle these situations. Thanks for watching. Stay informed and protect your finances with the guidance from USSA Secure Benefits as we continue to bring you the latest updates on matters that impact your daily life and financial security. Remember, knowledge is your best defense against unexpected changes in the banking world. And by staying vigilant, you can avoid many of the pitfalls that others might face. This rule change underscores the importance of proactive financial management and understanding the evolving landscape of regulations designed to safeguard the system, but which can sometimes inadvertently affect everyday users like you. So take the steps outlined today to ensure your banking experience remains smooth and uninterrupted in the face of these new requirements from USA Secure Benefits. We are committed to empowering you with the information you need to navigate these changes confidently and effectively.